Check 1 2 1 2. This is the morning show. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Spencer, Steve, JC, Dan on the charts today. What's up, chat? What's up, Will, Mary, P Guns, Risky, Fatal? How's everyone doing? What do you want to talk about? We got some earnings this morning. We got some takeover headlines. Those are always fun. PayPal? Would you buy PayPal here? That's my question to you. My question today. Would any of us buy PayPal? Congrats to all the bag holders who bought this thing at 200. You might get taken out at 60. We'll have Sam Gatlin on the show today. Share with us some commodity charts. Kenny Glick will stop by. And I don't know what's on Steve's mind or JC's mind. It's a great mystery to us all. We'll have to wait and see. I do want to mention, though, we have a good chart from Grant. Speaking of Grant, if you have not yet registered for the very first Grant HAWKRIDGE live event tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, there is a link in the description, and I will put it in the chat right now. There it is. The link is in the chat. It is pinned there. It is also at the very top of the description. Grant's going live tonight with JC, and I hear a special guest that is not myself, nor is it Steve Strazza. And Grant's going to outline his three-step trading process. And it's Grant's coming out party, so to speak. He's been the man behind the curtain. He's been Oz for the last, I don't know how many years. Now it's going to be the Grant show. So very excited for that. All right. Who is ready? I'm ready. You're ready. We're all ready. Great. Let's go. Let's bring out the guys. Whoa, what's up? We got JC running a minute behind schedule today.
Good morning.
Today he's the late one. What's up? How we doing? Hey, Turtle. How many do you have? Just the one?
No, two.
Two? Oh, the other. Yeah. Okay.
I'm chilling.
And they have names, obviously.
They're friends.
Do they have names?
Yeah, Myrtle and Jules.
Myrtle and Jules. Okay. And now you know what the gender is, right? You didn't know before, but not, or the sex, whatever.
It's a long story. I wasn't able to figure it out. You have to push on their stomach to pop it out to see it, and they don't want to be touched, and I don't want to touch them. So,
dude, personal space, man. Jeez.
Yeah, I know.
All right. How's it going this morning? What's on your mind?
Nothing. We had an absolute ramper in software stocks yesterday. The leaders just keep leading. Some of these charts just look so incredible out here. Looks like a nice follow-through day today. Meanwhile, other big cap growth stocks like SpaceX breaking the new lows. So continues to be a mixed tape with more good than bad. And watching that dollar closely here.
Yeah. The IBM finally stopped going down at noon yesterday. I'm like, all right, finally stabilized. It went down all morning.
So did it complete its worst day in history? Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's its worst day ever. There you go. Mixed bag, right? Because I could point to other legacy tech stocks that are doing great out here. Look at Dell trying to come out of a beautiful flag pattern. I think Cisco probably follows. HPE looks good. And then you got IBM, like you just mentioned, and Oracle trading at lows, bottom of their range.
Yeah.
So, like I said, good and bad, but more good than bad. Another area that we could point to lately and say, hey, this one's rejoining the party again. Energy.
Oh,
how about oil and gas stocks?
Yeah, well, I guess you would expect it if the ceasefire is off the table, if the blockade is back on the table, then I guess in theory it would make sense oil to go higher, which is what it's doing. So
you know how else you could have expected it, Spencer, and how else it would really make a lot of sense if you simply subscribe to primary trend following, right? Then you would look at the price action from energy and even energy futures, right? Crude oil and friends, monster base breakouts, absolutely crushed it in Q1, right? Market leaders by a long shot, best sector. And then they started digesting gains and entered a consolidation phase beginning in March. And then that lasted a couple months. And what you would do at this point is you would zoom out on the chart, right? You would pull that chart back a little bit and you'd say, okay, so we've been consolidating for 2 quarters now, almost. Where did we come from, right? What was the trend leading into this consolidation? Undeniably higher. In fact, even better than that, it was a trend that produced some monster-based breakouts, some of which date back decades in some of these biggest energy stocks. Now we're continuing higher. I think that makes a lot of sense in that, when you frame it that way as well.
Yeah, we haven't been talking about energy stocks for a while because there's been nothing to really talk about. So
no, they've been dead money since, like I said, March, mid-March.
All right, let's do a state of the markets. Bring out JC.
Great.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Hello,
hey, buddy.
Bitcoin this morning doing nothing. Flat 64,800 for the old BTC. We've got Ethereum pushing 1,900 flat this morning. We got Solana flat this morning, just under 78. And the total crypto market cap, Mr. Spencer Israel, 2.21 over in TradFi. TradFi markets, Dow up 113. That's 52,900. S&P's up 0.25%, 16 handles. That's wow, is that 70 back above 7,600, 7,607. Nasdaq 100 up 0.5%. That's 146 points, 29,934. 30-year bond futures flat, just under 111. Crude oil up 0.5%, pushing 80. You got copper flat at just under 640. You got gold flat at 40.70. You got silver pretty flat, just under 59. And the VIX just around 16, not doing much this morning. What stands out from this morning's futures?
You got these nice coils here at the index level, XLK, QQQ.
Dude.
And coil in here since May.
Is there anybody in the world who loves coils more than Steve Strazza?
I'm just talking about short-term continuation patterns, but
love
isn't that a
coils.
mouthful? Isn't it a mouthful to come on here and say short-term continuation pattern when I could just say coil, right?
Dude,
but
nobody loves a coil like you do, bro.
And coils can actually come in the form of reversal patterns as well. It's less common. Fun fact, though. Fun fact. They come in all shapes and sizes. But the NASDAQ 100 looks really good to me, right? It looked like a little distribution kind of situation there. Like, are we forming a little tactical head and shoulders top? No. We're back above all the VWAPs from, the highs of this range going back to May and June. And it looks like another leg higher is upon us for tech stocks, big growth stocks, and the like. And I think that's overwhelmingly positive for the broader market.
I find it really interesting that you got the speculators are actually net short. They're the most net short Qs since the spring of 23. How's that possible?
I don't think that makes much sense after the breadth and momentum thrust that we saw off of the March lows.
I mean, between thrusts and coils, I mean, Strazza's like, kid in the candy store.
I've learned in my career, JC, that it's really difficult to bet against big tech stocks. It's maybe the single hardest game to play in the market.
Dude, you're gonna be one day you're gonna be laughing at yourself. One day, because your generation
been this way for 20 years. So much
technology leadership for so long. You guys don't know any better.
Wait a minute.
Okay, that's true. Hold on. I think we've been taught a good lesson because if we've played that playbook back year in and year out, it's been the right thing to do.
Wait, but JC, I have a question. What leads in bull markets?
Usually tech.
Oh, okay.
Almost always.
Okay.
Oh, and you guys in your entire career have seen one of the greatest secular bull markets of all time. After our last decade.
It ain't over yet.
No, it ain't over yet. I agree. I agree. But you guys are jaded AF. Chat, tell them how jaded these guys are.
In fact, the bull market hit a nice round number today. If you want to bring up slide 3, I guess yesterday, technically.
I think we're lucky to have the experience that we do. People who came in around my time, I think we're truly blessed. Because what's the other lesson that we could have learned, right? JC's saying you guys are too used to seeing tech stocks just go up, up, up. Well, thank God, because we just keep playing back that same strategy and it keeps working.
Imagine fighting that.
We could have. Hold on, we could have began our careers 10 years earlier where we just saw markets crash and people jumping out of buildings and want to short everything all the time like Michael Burry. What a miserable strategy that would have been to deploy for the past 20 years, right? So could have gone the other way and been a lot worse, I think.
When did you start your career? What year?
2010.
2010.
Strazza nailed it. What timing?
And then what about you, Spencer?
I graduated college in 2013.
Oh my God. All right, ready?
Yeah. By the way, that was a chart of the S&P 500 with the 200-day moving average, and the 200-day moving average has now been rising for 300 straight days. So the primary, in other words, the primary trend has been going up for 300 straight days.
All right, I just want to give the folks some perspective here.
JC, they're saying you're shorting Apple.
Thank you, Grant, for that.
Shorting Apple? Why would I do that?
I don't know.
People do that?
Warren Buffett was on talking about.
I don't think that's allowed.
Why do you think they ask this poor man so much about tech stocks when everybody knows it's the last thing he wants to do is talk about tech stocks?
Clearly not, because he said, "Hey, Alphabet, hello, Alphabet, can we get in on this action?"
Well, Alphabet is a communication stock.
Whatever.
For all of the great
slide 2.
For all the great nuggets of wisdom that Buffett and Munger have brought us over the years, haven't they just totally missed when it comes to tech stocks?
No.
Right? Telling everybody 20 years ago, I don't invest in things I don't understand. Well, fuck that. Imagine if I didn't invest in things that I didn't understand.
I don't understand anything.
And couldn't have any of the biggest winners of my career in tech. Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know if that was great advice, Spencer. I know that you're a big Buffett guy, but I don't know if that was the best.
On the other side of that equation, there are worse reasons to buy a stock than, like if you're young at least and you're just getting into it, there are worse reasons to buy a stock than, oh yeah, I'm familiar. I use the product or service. I know this company.
Oh, I mean, I've shorted Apple. I don't think he's saying I've shorted Apple now. I've shorted Apple in the past.
Anyway.
That's okay.
So here you go, guys. Yeah. So here you go.
Great timeline.
So I had 5. Do you see that to the left of Strazza? That mess was the first 5 years of my career.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right?
Spencer came. That was the double dip. That was the double dip. And the European sovereign debt crisis. We used to talk about like countries like Greece like they fucking mattered. It was crazy.
It was wild.
Remember that?
And Cyprus. No, shout out to Cyprus. Cyprus banks were like blowing up
every
the world.
Day.
I remember that actually. That was
So how do you guys feel about this? Are these guys jaded AF or what? This is technology relative to S&Ps. Come on.
I don't know what the opposite of jaded is, but whatever it is, that's what I am. Maybe spoiled.
Dude,
I don't know.
Spoiled, jaded. I'm just telling you that this is not going to be forever, but I agree with Strazza that it's not over. Nobody's saying it's over. I just want to make sure that you guys understand, like the and you guys aren't alone, by the way. I'm picking on you two, you people, but there's a lot more you people out there.
It's also been, I think, a really positive development just for like capital markets, like and for the development and evolution of trading, right? Because the best places to be have been like the most super liquid, and you could do so much with them trading the biggest stocks in the world. So I think like that's it's buoyed trading activity a lot. By the way, what was it this morning? Morgan Stanley's like trading revenue growth was like 50 or 60%. JP Morgan and Goldman are out here growing at like 30% top line. I mean, this is insane. We were talking about maybe the lack of leadership at the index level, but these are AI stocks now. Maybe they're not growing 100% like, some of the guys that are more directly involved, but they're not just making money off AI from a financing, deal making, and trading perspective, but they are implementers, right? They have adopted AI and they're leveraging it to either make more money in their existing businesses or create efficiencies in existing businesses or even enter new businesses. Like Wells Fargo's now entering the options clearing market. Like, this is great. This is a true moment for the banks right now. There are just so many bullish catalysts and tailwinds.
By the way, what JC is referring to with the whole tech outperformance thing and Strazza and I's our age is really one of the key concepts from this book, which I need to reread. By the way, this is a good book to read more than once. But what Morgan talks about
He
is
says
that,
it won't last.
Who?
Morgan Housel.
well,
Because what won't last?
what
He says
Morgan
the biggest stocks never last.
what Morgan
I said-
talks about is that for better or worse,
Let's see it.
for better or worse, we are all products of our lived experiences. That's just how we are. We can't help it. That's, our experiences inform what we think of the world. Even if our experiences are abnormal. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. So it's not our fault. It's just psychology.
20 years from now, will the Mag 7s be top 10 stocks in the world by market cap, JC?
2 years from now, the top 10 stocks will be
No.
No, 20 years.
20 years from now. Will the current Magnificent 7, maybe add
No.
SpaceX in there, will they still be top 10 stocks by size?
The Elite 8.
Sure. I like that. Yeah.
I didn't make it up. It's the thing already.
No, but
Will they still be? I would say maybe 3/4 of them. Maybe
Some of
That's
them,
probably about right.
will.
60-70% of them.
Yeah, some of them.
I would
will,
agree.
sure.
And then so here's the positioning. These are speculators. So these are hedge funds, asset managers. These are the worst investors in the world consistently, particularly at
This is great.
extremes.
this is
What?
great. This is bullish as hell. Look at that. Look at that. How that positioning flipped right into the consolidation. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice
So
chart.
net short, most bearish is 23. And then look how bullish they were in October, November, right? Right before that NASDAQ correction, right? And then they faded the strength in the NASDAQ. You saw how they faded?
Yeah, coming off of the March lows.
Yeah. So, at extremes. Now, is this an extreme? Is the question. Most bearish is 23? Yeah. That's pretty extreme. Most bearish in over 3 years? I'd say yeah. That qualifies as extreme.
See, like I could understand how the positioning came down and turned more bearish as it looked like that top was completing back in Q1. Right? But then that top failed and ripped higher. And these suckers kept getting more and more short instead of getting long into what was a historic rally.
Now, Strazza
Oh,
sees
bummer.
this coil. Strazza's all
Yeah.
about that coil right now.
I'm all about that. I'm all about that coil right now.
So right now, if Strazza, my interpretation of Strazza's positioning here is that he is anticipating that this coil resolves in the direction of the underlying trend, which is higher, which would be the exact opposite of what the worst investors in history are currently positioned for. Do I have that right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Is it me or is the Green Arrow doing a lot of work here?
I like being on the side I'm on.
Well, that's
JC.
Strazza's betting that green arrow stays and the question mark is removed.
Okay.
Spencer, see, these continuation patterns tend to continue in the direction of the underlying trend. That's why that.
I'm not-
What
I'm
happens
not-
if
I'm
they
not
don't,
arguing.
Strazza? What
and
happens
colored
if they
green.
don't?
Then they become failed patterns, and sometimes you get fast moves in the opposite direction. In fact, are you guys looking at this potential failed move turns fast move in Palantir? Is that
Hey
is
now.
Yeah.
Is anybody just licking their chops on that one? I mean,
Dude,
wow.
Palantir, man. I just hate that it got oversold.
Me too, but just a tiny bit.
I mean, if it didn't suck, it wouldn't have done that.
No, but they punished this thing, and it
Yeah.
resolved that range that it had traded in since February to the downside last month, and then just fired higher. It took it 4 days to get right back to that big polarity zone. 2 quick weeks of chop right there. I think we're right back off to the races. The way software stocks trade, go look at the best software stocks yesterday. Go look at the candle and CrowdStrike. Thing was up fucking 12%. Okta, 10%. Software stocks are not just working. They're not just rotating into them. These things are screaming higher. And then that participation is broadening. So I think a stock like Palantir's got to join this software party. Got to.
Man,
Cybersecurity stocks are
Steve, you're right.
even
The,
networking,
the
so
tech
good.
dispersion is off the charts right now.
Throw up
Dude,
slide. Throw up slide 2. I love that Spencer's calling out the tech dispersion.
No.
gotta-
I'm not calling that out. Strazza called that out.
You got to be in the good ones. The
Yeah.
good ones
The-
are crushing
Dude,
it
the
right now.
correlation between semis and software is near zero. It's near zero.
JC, it's amazing. It's like especially
it trends in the 70s. It's
I
zero
mean,
or 1.1 or something like that.
So that's the bigger point, right? All our careers now, we're used to, semis are working, then software should be too, or software's working, semis should be too. These are the two big groups in tech and growth, and they tend to move together. It started last year where software started falling off a cliff. Semiconductors not only remain strong, continue to be like some of the best stocks in the market, but now it's like on a day-to-day basis, you look, these things are moving in opposite directions with momentum. It's downright strange, but that's been the relationship, and it's only getting stronger inverse than it was, when this really began last year.
Listen, you saw some oversold conditions on the daily time frame in Palantir. You did not see it on the weekly time frame, right? So here's a 14-week RSI. This is the relative strength index. In healthy market environments, you tend to get overbought north of 70, right? So this oscillates from 0 to 100 down below. When you don't get oversold, that's characteristic of uptrends, right? Strong uptrends don't get oversold. And so here we are not getting oversold on a weekly time frame. So when you zoom out, that's what it looks like. So Strazza likes this consolidation. He thinks it rips higher. You could use the recent lows as a stop. You could buy the breakout above the anchored VWAP. You could buy a breakout to all-time highs. You could do a combination of which. You can have a third of a position now against those lows, add above a breakout above the anchored VWAP, and add again on a breakout to all-time highs. Like, that's not a terrible idea either. So there's no wrong way to do this, depending on what you're trying to do. Strazza will probably do all of the above. Strazza's probably already long, and he's probably gonna do some more of that long action in the coming months, right, Strazza?
We're long.
He's got it as his IRA. He's got the comment in the IRA. Like, he's got, right? How close?
Yeah, and recently bought more actually of the common, right? The long-term primary trend position, because I think this top is failing. I want to see a little bit of VWAP reclaim and some momentum off this level. But now throw up this chart, because you framed it really well here, JC. But another reason I really like it and think you got to get ready for another big move. New slide two, please. Volatility. This is just a measure of volatility compression. This is a Strazza indicator on a weekly basis here. I've simply just drawn a polarity line at the level that we're talking about. It doesn't get this low. This is as tight as it gets for Palantir. So a big move is brewing here. We just got to find that direction it's going in, make the trade. I'm thinking higher with everything going on, obviously.
Can we just talk about
it's at new all-time highs in no time.
Hey, how about this Strazza just nonchalantly just dropping Strazza indicator, right? Just like, no big deal, just a Strazza. Like, dude, if I had my own indicator, I would be like, yo, look at the Strazza indicator, bro. Look at the JC. I don't have a JC indicator, but if I did, I'd be like, yo, look at the JC indicator. Strazza's like, well, and then here you have your Strazza indicator,
I thought you knew about it. It's true, though. From compression comes expansion. This is a mean reverting indicator. We're simply looking for levels where it's at an extreme low or on the mat and then turning higher, which you could see it curling higher right there. You could use it like a MACD or a PPO. Look for that crossover. That means expansion is coming. Then you got to go to the price chart and use whatever other tools you have in your arsenal to determine the direction of the move. But big move coming is what this one means. And with the way software stocks are moving, and even the big cap techs like JC, you got to look at a chart like Broadcom or NVIDIA right now. It's been a rough couple of months maybe, but reclaiming VWAPs from the all-time highs, nice little gap there to fill on Broadcom. Those stocks are heading higher too, I think. So,
listen, we have an important conversation to have with Mr. Kenny Glick. You got Cypress Hill dropping a new album next week in Spanish.
Wow.
Spanish.
Wow. These guys are still doing it? They're
still doing it.
Wow.
Dude, that's what you get for smoking weed your whole life.
I did not
Start
hear
dropping
that.
rap albums decades later in other languages.
Some of the greatest weed smokers of all time, probably Cypress Hill. Did a lot for the movement back in the day.
They invented it, dude.
Yeah. They might have been the first to smoke weed.
They invented the game. Speaking of smoking weed, hey, Kenny Glick in the house. Bring him out. Bring him out.
All right.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my cloth, they took it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola.
If you know this solo, Who was around in 1982? Getting the juices flowing to my. All right. It's either EDM or early Iron Maiden. What's going on, y'all?
Nothing. I think I'm going to go see AC/DC with Fami in Vegas.
You should go to see AC/DC. Yeah.
I've never seen AC/DC.
Yeah, it's a shell of the band. It's not the same.
Yeah, but still, come on.
They've
What
actually
about
been booed.
what
They've
about
actually
the
been booed
Cypress Hill
off the
album?
stage. They've
Are
been
you
booed off
excited
the
for the Cypress
stage.
Hill?
Yeah. What?
Are you excited for the Cypress Hill album?
I don't know. I didn't even know they were coming out with a new album.
In Spanish.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I saw them last year at Asbury Park. They were kicking ass.
Dude, I've never been to Asbury Park. I can't believe I've never been. I gotta go. I know.
So why don't you what are you doing on October? I'll take you to an acid rock show, a band called All Them Witches. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know All Them Witches, imagine Pink Floyd and Black Sabbath had a child. That would be All Them Witches.
What are we doing today? You got the NASDAQ leading the way. Strazza likes these coils in the Qs and technology. What are you thinking?
I am just looking at some massive gaps in chip stocks, ASML and AEHR. If you guys don't know about AEHR, it's a space where it's a safe space amongst the semis. AEHR does something that no matter what happens in the space, they'll be needed because they do the testing of the photonics. You see what happened there? So it doesn't have to be a photonic stock, but it has to be photonic adjacent. So they're doing testing, and a lot of other companies, there's another that went out there, I think it was MXL or VIAV. They're doing the testing for the products that are coming to market to see if you can transfer data quicker and faster and stronger. So this company, again, my default is to look for a fade here, but just monster gap. So if you're worried about this bull market, there you go, a 34% gap on that testing stock. Very, very bullish, as well as ASML as well. But I'm looking for a fade. You know, again, just like IBM yesterday, I ran towards the fire. We got paid 3 times on a long trade. It was difficult. You had to actually.
You walked by exactly what that IBM trade looks like. Can you show us? Can you share your screen and show us?
Yeah, hang on a second.
We talked about it pre-market. I had some things to do yesterday afternoon, so I dipped out. So I didn't see the intraday action.
Yeah, it was a grind, but you know that's what we do for a living. So sometimes you got to wait, and it's been a decent buy this morning again. But you know, again, when we were talking, it was still kind of plummeting. It finally had plummeted off the earth, and then here comes that the open. So I was just waiting for the bigger faux show, bro. So that was the pre-market low was broke, and then it came back, and I bought that spot right there, which is around that 220, just looking for the reversion back to VWAP. And that, my friend, is a day's pay. Here's where it got disappointing. We got over the VWAP and then it rolled back over, and then we're forced to sell out what we had left. That's why, again, everything we do is we sell in increments. We're buying here, we're selling some here. VWAP, we're selling some because we're anticipating it to either jiggle, shuffle, or break. In this case, we jiggled and shuffled, we broke higher, and then we rolled. And that's the finger of God. So you went from a nice faux show to a possible no bro, and it starts to roll. You just cash out. But then it did it again. So way back down here where it broke the 215, it broke the pre-market, and then the opening low, we gave it another shot. Same exact setup. So faux show here, VWAP retrace. Faux show here, VWAP retrace. Gotta love IBM. If you didn't think there was going to be somebody showing up to buy some IBM on the worst day in its history, come on, seriously, come on. It's still IBM, but that's day trading right there. If you're buying a $13 stock with 50 cents of risk and you make yourself 3 or 4 points, that's the essence of what we do. And I stayed focused on IBM because the other trades were so sick.
Hold on. You make a really good point that I want to make sure the audience catches on because you blew over that pretty quickly. When you're talking about, it's the worst day for IBM, somebody's got to be out there buying.
Right.
See, that's the part that I think gets missed. I always talk about how the only strategy intraday for day traders that I've seen consistently work is a mean reversion strategy. Kenny has his. Others I know have theirs that's different, but it's a similar idea where you're playing a mean reversion after a big move, right? And that's really where it pays. But here's the thing. I think it's important to understand how institutions work. because these financial institutions, they have to buy these stocks. They're under accumulation. They're under distribution in the case of selling stocks. If they see an opportunity to buy a stock like this that they have to buy in their mandate, they're going to take every opportunity in the world to buy it so much cheaper. That's why on the worst days, not just IBM and other things, you get massive moves higher. You get shorts that are covering, that are taking their profits. Because if you're not taking your profits as a short seller in IBM on the worst day ever, what the hell are you waiting for?
Right.
There's natural buying from short sellers. There's the institutions that have to, by mandate, take advantage of the opportunity and buy it. So even on the worst days, you're going to have massive swings to the upside because you're going to have institutions stepping in. Now, there are people who are the bag holders that are taking every opportunity to sell because they're crushed. So when that bounces, then they sell. And then we do the VWAP shuffle that Kenny's always talking about. And then, maybe there's another move after that. But those are the mechanics behind the scenes of what is happening here on the institutional desk, all over the street, all over the world for that matter.
Sure.
And he's just able to capture that because of the amount of liquidity coming in. It provides opportunities for just regular traders to take advantage of those dynamics that you see again and every single day. This is not just like, yesterday. Yesterday was just IBM, but it's everything. So Kenny, I just think it's really important for people to understand. It's not just like voodoo and random crayons, like actual market mechanics going on behind the scenes that have nothing to do with IBM selling equipment.
Absolutely. Well, that's the thing is, like, when I remember when I was on TV originally with Ted Koppel, and I was defending the industry, and they said,
you were on TV with Ted Koppel?
Oh yeah, you didn't see I was on Nightline. They abused.
I mean, I'm not surprised at all. But
yeah, I was the poster child for day trading. They don't call me the grandfather of day trading for nothing. So yeah, I was on.
Get those clips?
Sure, I got the whole thing somewhere. Yeah, they interviewed my parents. It was a hoot.
Get at it, dude. Come on. You got to get that over.
You've never seen that? I was on. They did an expose into my life. But,
dude, I got to see this.
But at the end of the piece, this was got to be 2002. Maybe 2003.
I got to see this.
So they lopped me in with people who were addicted to scratch offs. A woman who was pregnant. She couldn't stop going to the casinos to play Texas Hold'em. And then Kenny Glick. And they were talking about these guys don't even care about what the companies do. And I'm like, yeah, because who cares? So then they brought some hedge fund guy on. Yeah, these guys, they couldn't tell earnings per share from a slot machine. I'm sitting there going, and what I got a better chance telling you what the stock's going to do in the next 40 minutes than you do in the next 40 days. Don't even pretend that you can't. I could do that. So, again, I wish I had the attitude I had now back when on TV, but the Ted Koppel wrote the whole piece ended with, because they interviewed my parents, they were talking about how they don't really understand, the whole concept of day trading, right? And the whole piece ended with, I agree with Kenny's mother. Get a real job. Get out of the house. Get a life.
Get a real job.
Ted Koppel told me to get a life. So when I got to the softball field that next day, everybody had get a life signs. So that was fun.
Dude, that is hysterical.
But yeah, it was fun. Then I was on 48 Hours also, and I did 2 shows. That one I was also it was a gambling. They tried to expose us as just these degenerate gamblers, which we are, but we do it with an edge. Again, this edge, to your point, is mean reversion. So you're just looking for the VWAP to become that magnet when something's underneath, and then when you have like a JP Morgan trade, like I was saying, when you break through the VWAP, then you get that massive move. So this was just a coiled spring. You had your Andy Dufresne and your little faux show, and then it broke VWAP at the open and ripped 14 points. That's exceptional. And that's why yesterday, I say this a lot, but yesterday was a day that we waited 3 months for this trade. And I said, listen, 3 months ago, JP Morgan, Citibank, and Goldman Sachs kind of didn't do anything yesterday, but these 3 stocks, the JP Morgan, the Bank of America, but more importantly, the Citibank, because the Citibank exemplifies everything. If I could live this day and this trade over and over again, I will be very content. And that's a hard thing to find in the world of trading, contentment. You had a beautiful faux show, bro, 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal for an amazing payday. And then the inverse ass crack, Kardashian bottom, finger of God, 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal for an absolute. So if you missed the long trade, the short on this trade was 4 times better, and it was absolutely incredible. And guys, if you don't see shorting right, because a lot of people don't see the charts right, everybody's so bullish and bullish minded. Here's the nice trick for you. Put a minus sign next to the C, flip the chart over. Now you see it. Wouldn't you be buying this right here as it broke a new low, tests the VWAP, and then breaks, and look at that rip? That's just flipping the chart over. So again, the first was a short on this chart, but it's a great way to look at the charts if you don't understand shorting. It's just the opposite of buying. It's the same exact trade. And that's when it's the same exact trade. That's why you give me a Citibank day, and this is why I don't own stocks. This is why I don't swing trade. Look at all this money that's made on this one trade. You're making 5 or 6 on the way down, and almost 10 on the 5 or 6 on the way up, and 10 on the way down. And that was just one trade. I mean, yesterday was epic, absolutely epic. Cheers.
I'm on mute. You can trade with Kenny every single day by going to hitthebid.com. Hitthebid.com.
Hey, by the way, before I go, JC, I heard there's a pickleball thing going on. A stock twits pickleball. We got to get involved. Let's go school some people in pickleball in October somewhere.
Let me know.
Yeah. All right, brother.
Later.
All right. See you, Ken. All right. I got an email this morning from my utility company. They're like, your energy usage is way up year over year. And I was like, what? Why? So obviously it's been hotter than it was last June. But Sam, can you help me figure out how I can hedge my own energy usage and make money even though the fact my bill's going up? That's my question for you. We got Sam here, by the way. So I'll bring him out in a second.
Bring him out.
All right. Sam Gatlin in the house. Let's do it.
Yo, what's happening?
Hey.
What's going on?
Not a whole lot. Had a great ribeye last night. Went to my favorite local steakhouse. Had the prime ribeye with the smoked old fashioned. I have to say, it has just never missed. It always hits the spot every single time. Brings me so much joy.
I also had steak last night.
Did you have a ribeye?
No, I did not have a ribeye.
Okay.
I like the beard. It makes you look like you're not 12.
Thank you, JC. Thank you. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. Yeah, trying to get away from the 12-year-old look.
Dude, we gotta get you some sushi. What kind of shitty sushi do they have in Kansas?
I think you could imagine what we have here in Kansas.
I can't imagine. It's got to be even worse than I think.
JC, there is actually a really good sushi restaurant in Omaha, believe it or not.
I believe that.
Yeah.
TD Ameritrade's there, and Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, and all that stuff. There's some bougie people.
Yep.
My local sushi restaurant's been closed for like the last 6 weeks. I guess they're just like taking a vacation. I don't know.
Good.
All right.
We need a proper sit down, you and me.
I think so.
Right. And Strazza needs to be there too. Strazza and I haven't had a good. We did last year. We had a nice little sit down.
What?
You and me.
It's been a while since we had dinner.
Dude, that place wasn't even that good. That place
Miami?
was fine. And the one we had in Miami, that was okay.
Yeah.
But dude, we could do way better in New York.
Trendy.
New York has real sushi, and people don't
Miami
understand that.
Miami has rapper-owned trendy sushi restaurants.
Remember those rappers
Instagram.
and OnlyFans girls that were there? It was like a Monday or a Tuesday, and it was right.
I don't even remember because that's just what being in Miami is like.
Some of these people had piercings in places I didn't know you could have piercings in.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Lots of tight clothing.
That's
and
okay. I'm okay with it. That's fine.
It was aggressive. But New York, I'm telling you right now, has so many great things that the sushi game just gets lost. Like people forget about the sushi because of media and sports and finance and fashion, and like New York has a zillion things. The sushi game and the sake game is on point. I'm telling you. And if you don't go in there and discover it, you're not going to know because there's just so much shit. It's like, where's Waldo? even though of Manhattan. But I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, New York City sushi game is on point.
We were actually talking about you and just how spectacular you are in the game of sushi this weekend. We were all talking about your sushi skills, believe it or not. Because down here, you go to a sushi restaurant, they don't even have the daiginjo. You ask them, and they're like, "What are you talking about? We have like sake in a can." What are you?
There's nothing wrong with sake in a can, by the way.
Yeah,
Sam and I had some excellent steaks in Puerto Rico, actually.
I love that
And
you guys had a little Puerto Rican bromance. That's cool.
And some fashions. It was good, but the restaurant was so loud.
Wait, when were you guys in Puerto Rico?
we were in Puerto Rico together.
Dude, these are the only two idiots that go to Puerto Rico in the summer.
It was great. I had a
It
fantastic.
was excellent. No regrets.
Damn,
I got sunburnt in places I didn't even know I could get sunburnt.
That I believe.
That's weird, Sam.
Whatever.
So Sam, so talk to me here. We're hedging data centers.
I guess so. Yeah, that's it wasn't.
I heard it's bullshit that these costs are not going up because of data centers.
I don't know, JC. I don't know anything about that. I just I look at the charts and I see the line is going up. The December heating oil contract is making new all-time highs. The 3-2-1 crack spread making new all-time highs.
Tell me about your crack, the crack spread.
Yeah, slide number 17 there.
So Kenny Glick has the ass crack breakout. Is this anything like that?
This actually is an ass crack breakout in the crack spreads. Yes.
Can I explain the crack spread and then you tell me how close I am?
Yeah. So for those of you that are not familiar, there's like 50 different kinds of spreads that you can analyze in the energy markets, but this is probably the most common one to look at. And this 3-2-1 crack spread tells you the gross profit margin for the refining companies. So they take crude oil and turn it into heating oil and gasoline, and that's exactly what these refining companies are doing. They're taking heating oil and turning it into these other products. And
so hold on. So let me see if I can get this straight, and you tell me. So we got an apple pie stand, right?
I heard this analogy the other day. Yeah,
we got an apple pie stand. Yeah. Right, and then we got to go buy apples to make apple pies, right? Strazza, you know about it. You know about pies, right? You know, right?
I like
very delicious. You're willing to pay a lot of money for these pies. Am I wrong?
I love a good pie.
Who doesn't love a good pie? Right. So you're making apple pies in your apple pie stand. You got to buy the apples to make the apple pies. So you buy a bunch of apples, cost you $30, and then you sell the apple pies for $50, $80, right? And you make the margin. The more margin, the more money you make, right? But here's the thing: if you're making all this money making apple pies, guess what? What are you going to do? You're going to buy more apples. How do you like them apples? And then what you do is you're going to make more apple pies. And so the demand for those apples goes up because you're making all this money making apple pies. You're going to buy more apples. Price of apples goes up. And so that's why the margins that the apple pie stand makers are making is a leading indicator for the prices of those apples. So think about the refining companies as the apple pie stand. They're going out there, they're buying the crude oil, they are cracking the molecules to make them usable for human energy and all the things that we do, right? That's why it's called the crack spread, because they're cracking molecules. There's your fun fact of the day. And if the crack spread's going up, these apple pie stands are making a lot of money, so they're going to buy more apples, which in this case is crude oil. How am I doing? Come on.
Yeah, that was excellent, JC. But there's also a situation going on where like your apple pie competitors are getting blown up with missiles. So,
so there's that.
So there's also that, which is very, very helpful for these refining companies in the United States.
The apple pie monopolies are getting bigger.
Yeah, man. If you look at slide 18,
kind of like crack dealers in the corner, right? They're always like trying to take out their competition down the block.
That's exactly right. Yes, yeah. A lot of beef in the crack markets. So this is the oil refiners ETF. So these are the companies that benefit from a higher crack spread, hence the ticker symbol crack. And you can see it's making new all-time highs. If you look at all of the energy ETFs, something like XLE, OIH, XOP, small cap energy, go across the board. They're not making new all-time highs, but crack is making new all-time highs. So this is by far the strongest group in the energy sector. On Monday with my Super Cycle Report members, I covered my favorite setups in the space. Some of them are a nose hair away from breaking out of massive bases. So I'm very close to pulling the trigger on some of these names. We already have this ETF in the portfolio, but I'm looking to spice it up with some individual stocks for sure.
What's your favorite? There's so many good ones. There's PSX, there's Valero.
Yeah, the big boys, hard to go wrong with those. Plenty of options liquidity there. A lot of them are making new all-time highs already. I won't mention the names that are on my radar. I keep those for my members, but there are some smaller ones with a little bit more spice that I'm looking to get involved with. Sure.
I got to tell you something about these refiners. For a long time, they've been showing a ton of relative strength, particularly in the energy space. And an argument could be made, if you want the juice, go for the beta. The refiners are already winners. They're not going to give you the beta. Something to be said for relative strength. The relative strength has been here for a long time. It remains here. Relative strength, there's wisdom in relative strength. The market is a forward-looking discounting mechanism, and the relative strength we've seen in refiners for a long time now is further evidence of that, like you need it anymore. But man,
well, I think it's because there's like that fundamental driver for this trend. I mean, you have a
but the MLPs are doing well too. Like, right? See, the transportation of energy, not just the refiners of energy, right?
Well, I think it's a very similar situation there. Is you just don't have enough vessels to transport these.
Got it. All right, because you got the Strait of Hormuz situation, right?
Well, that too. That certainly helps.
Dude, every time someone says Strait of Hormuz, it should be like Pee Wee Herman. Are you guys too young to remember Pee Wee Herman?
Yes.
So Pee Wee Herman was like the Jim Cramer of the day, right? And so he would he had all kinds of gimmicks and stuff like that, and they would have the word of the day. And anytime there'd be guests coming by, and anytime anybody said that word, the whole place would go up. They'd be they said the word, and like the whole place would start shaking and be like, wow, it'd be like a whole thing. Every time somebody says Strait of Hormuz, we should do that. It's like drink, No?
Did you just call Jim Cramer Pee Wee Herman?
Oh, but it's kind of like a game show, like not game show, but like
okay.
Like an act, like a show, like comedy and entertainment, like television for children. Anyway, Pee Wee Herman
taking shots at 9 a.m. Is that what we're doing now, JC?
I mean, some people watch it at night. Some people, like us in Australia right now, it's like what, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning over there. Yeah, it's a good time.
Speaking of,
you're such an American. You think the whole world is in America just because you're in fucking Kansas. There's people in Europe. It's nighttime in Europe. Great time to take a shot of tequila. If you're in Europe, go take a shot of tequila. I had 2 margaritas yesterday, by the way.
Ooh, give me 2 margaritas.
2 margaritas. I don't drink many margaritas. Made well, they can be very delicious. Extra salt. You got to go extra salt.
Were they spicy? We were making the spicy margs at my house this weekend.
They weren't. I don't know how I feel about the spicy margs.
A little spice is nice.
I just don't like spice in my chocolate. You know how the Mexicans like to make spicy chocolate? It's not like habanero chocolate. It's not for me.
I don't
like spice in my cheese really, and I don't like spice in my margaritas. I like a salt in the margaritas. I like my spice elsewhere.
All right. I think that's a fine take.
Yeah. It's just me.
Yeah, sure.
I've never drank an entire margarita, being fully transparent with you.
Aren't you in Kansas? They got Mexicans over there.
I know. There's a lot had margaritas here. Yeah.
And you've never had one?
Really gotten into it.
Dude, you got to get the Cadillac style. This is what the Mexicans in California
do. Yeah, that Grand Marnier. Grand Marnier.
Yup, you get your regular house margarita and then you put a little Grand Marnier on top of that. That's the Cadillac. Woo! I didn't know that. They don't teach you that in New York. You got to hang out with Mexicans for that one. That's a good call right there,
We have some good Mexicans here. My favorite taco truck. Also, they don't even speak any English. It's wonderful.
That should be a prerequisite.
There's a secret ingredient in a lot of good margaritas. A lot of people don't know this. Splash of orange juice makes a big difference. Really nice.
Yeah, man, you were such a Florida man.
We have great orange juice.
I know.
Just fantastic.
Strazza just throwing the local ingredients into his margs. I see what you're doing there.
No pulp. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Sam. Sam, have you talked about the things you want to talk about, or are you ready to talk about software stocks?
We can talk about whatever you want, Steve.
Look at these. JC says I don't talk about the Strazza indicator enough. That's what he thinks. So I
No,
brought
I just like how
along.
you just like nonchalantly throw, oh yeah, and then the Strazza indicator.
I want
If
to
I
show you
had
a
the
couple.
JC, in 2008, I built the JCI, the JC indicator,
Uh-huh.
to measure standard deviations above and below 195 10-minute time frame period, right? Essentially,
great.
for
The
the
JCI.
08, I learned how to code. This is in 08 when the standard deviations of the S&P 500 actually mattered because you were getting friggin' 5-8% swings a day. So that was actually
Right.
very helpful.
Right.
And it has never been helpful ever since. So the JCI is dead where it stands. Strazza indicator lives strong, and I'm happy for you. I'm a little bit jealous. I don't have a JC indicator. It's a little bit, so because I think that what I would do if I had a JC indicator, I would own that shit. And you're just like, you have your Strazza indicator and you just take it for granted. Not everybody has their own indicator, and I just think that you're not grateful. You're ungrateful bastard having your own indicator, and you just take it for granted. You don't even love it. You don't even tell anybody about it. Like, it's rude. It's rude. It's like Morgan. Morgan called Morgan's like, Morgan's like in good shape, and then he's like, oh, I can't believe that girl can't do that. And I was like, not everybody is in the same shape as you. You understand that, right? Like,
I feel funny talking about it too much, is the truth. Like, it's still new to me. And I think there's an element of obnoxiousness that comes with like just dropping your name left and right. My name is on plenty of things. We've put my name on a lot of things over the years. But yeah, the Strazza indicator, dude, it's awesome. And the truth is, I spend the majority of my day looking at charts with this indicator on it, and maybe one other momentum indicator, and then some relative trends. But like, this is where I live, because in trading options, you always want to be in those issues or those tactical trends where the stocks, the underlying, is making an outsized move. That's how you really get paid on options, right? When the stock moves more than the market has priced it to move. That's really what options pricing comes down to. How much do we expect this stock to move? Then the broker dealers and the market makers come up with a price for that option. If they expect a stock to move a ton, the options are going to be more expensive. If it's Johnson & Johnson or Procter & Gamble, the options are priced very cheap because the stocks don't move too much. So if you could find that moment where J&J makes an outsized move like it recently did this year, load into some options, you go 10x trading the most boring stock in the market. That's what the Strazza indicator really cues into. It's when can you expect the underlying or the issue, right, that you're trading an option in, to make a bigger move than it typically makes, because that's how you really get paid well on options. So you put it on the bottom of your chart, you find these ends up being coils 90% of the time is the pattern that you're looking at that creates the volatility compression. And when you see that crossing over taking place, it just tells you, like, expect some fireworks here. You're going to get a big momentum move either to the upside or the downside. We pick the direction, you make a lot of money that way. So there is a specific group right now where I'm literally breaking my risk management rules, which I do pretty often, especially in bull markets. And I said, I banned double sales, okay, on this group earlier this week. I said, we are not selling doubles because this move is not over. Like,
banning double sales.
Banning double sales.
Have you ever done that before, Steve?
Yes, I do it quite often in bull runs for specific themes, right? It's not for everything, but it's for this group of stocks and specifically this pattern, because it just keeps working so well. And I want to catch a runner. A lot of the stuff that I'm in expires in 2 days or next Friday, right? So I'm just looking for a couple more green candles out of these charts. Why? Look at how coiled up we are. Volatility compression. This is the dog. This is the dog, the data dog. These stocks are all in the same kind of space, software leadership. Volatility compression began in May. Tight coil after a monster breakaway gap and run on the last earnings report. Coiled up here, looks absolutely ready to rock, fire out of this nice little continuation pattern, and you can see that expansion coming. Next stock. Let's run through them real quick. This is the HPE. Same thing. Breakaway gap, blow off high, into a little, month and a half consolidation. See, the Strazza indicator showed compression. Now it's starting to curl higher, expansion, just as we're about to reclaim the VWAP from the all-time highs. Next chart. Compression began in early June. This is the NTAP, network appliances, breakaway gap into a little blow off local high. Nice little coil there, breaking higher, back above VWAP. Don't be surprised if you get 5-10% move in a single day as these patterns are completing. That's what you saw from CrowdStrike and some others yesterday. Next chart. Is this the crowd? There's the CrowdStrike, right? Coming out of the same situation, back above that VWAP from the pivot highs. Strazza indicator showing compression is over. We're entering a new expansion phase. That's just a reaction rally out of this continuation pattern. I think you started to see it begin yesterday. That's CrowdStrike. Do we have one more? We got the Snowflake, don't we? I love the Snowflake. Snowflake, so good, right? Again, monster breakaway gap into a local high, a month and a half of consolidation, really high and tight digestion, by the way, like the nature of these corrective waves, these consolidations, super high and tight, exactly what you want to see. Went from a compression phase, now crossing over, expansion is coming. And sure, could all of these breakouts fail miserably and then you get that volatility expansion to the downside? Absolutely. That's always a real risk. But I'm going down the list every day and I'm seeing more and more just breakout and go, breakout and go, breakout and go. So I'm looking at the other ones that haven't quite gone yet and I'm thinking they're going to follow that similar path. But I love this group right now. So yeah.
What's your favorite?
I think you could pretty much still buy Snowflake and Datadog right here. I think HPE is just taking out that VWAP right now. I mean, Dell looks similar. Cisco on one green candle could look similar. Okta might be my favorite longer term. Okta's coming out of a beautiful base on top of the short term patterns that we just discussed. Right, so you got multiple time frame alignment there. Yeah, there's the Okta. Look at the Okta. That one was up huge yesterday too. Already got that expansion crossover. So I really like this space right now. If I had to say for today's money, maybe HPE, literally just sitting above that VWAP. We throw up the HPE.
Yeah, looks great.
But it is
nice.
The thesis here for me is that this pattern keeps working and working really well. So I want to own as much of it as possible and let them run. That's it. That happens to us time and time again throughout the course of a cycle where we'll see a pattern. Sometimes it's a primary trend reversal, big rounding bottom back off the 2022 lows where you just see it over and over and over again. This thing keeps working. Let's keep buying it. Sometimes it's the failed top, right? We had some major failed topping patterns just earlier this year, last year too. Failed top turns into a continuation pattern. When you see them, buy them. They keep working, keep working, keep working. That's how I feel about this high and tight coil situation right now in the software leaders. How'd I do, Sam?
I think you failed to mention one thing, Steve, is that I think pretty much every one of these setups that you brought along today are consolidations after historic earnings reactions. So every one of those you brought along, except for the CrowdStrike, had the best earnings reactions ever.
Yep,
and these are software stocks that had been hated for, 4-5 quarters consecutively, and then they come out and absolutely rip them higher. I mean, that's a significant change in the earnings sentiment, and you're seeing the party's not over, I think, Steve. I think the Hewlett Packard, I'm with you on that. HPE, that's probably my favorite. And these are stocks that I've been covering this entire quarter in the Daily Beat newsletter that we publish every day.
And now they're leaders in a space that's been battered, right? And as if you look at IGV or XSW, the software indexes, brand new trend reversals underway. What do you think the leaders are going to do that have already been going up through that rough time? They're going to stop going up now that the rest of the industry group starts working? No way. Probably going to go up more. So
Strazza, I'm looking at Israel.
IZRL? EIS?
Someone say my name?
I'm looking.
There he is.
I'm looking at the country of Israel, not Spencer Israel.
Oh.
But there's a similar theme happening where you got that pullback in the Tel Aviv index going back to the beginning of May, right? So you're looking at 10 weeks really of consolidation here. A pullback here within. I mean, I think Israel was up 19 out of 20 months in a row or something crazy like that. Since October of 23, it went straight up. Just when everybody thought Israel was, they were having, that's where Hamas and all that stuff. That's when that started. That was the bottom of the market, right?
Yeah.
So Israel ripped, and then last month was pulled back. Right? Over the last 10 weeks, we've had that pullback. So if Strazza's right that these consolidations are resolving higher in software in some of these areas, he just outlined a whole bunch of them. I got to believe you're going to get a bid in Israel. So I'm thinking if you're right and you want to get some juice, shouldn't we be buying the Israeli ones?
No.
No? All right.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe Sam has a better answer, but the best software stocks are in the US. Sure. Are there some cybersecurity names that tend to be secular leaders out in Israel? What, the CyberArk, or what are some of the other ones?
I always get them confused, the ones that are in Israel.
They got some good ones, but I think the majority of the charts that just show, I think they're all US based.
Yeah,
Look,
I'm
the
with you,
best tech
Steve.
stocks-
Yeah, there
the
are
best-
good opportunities in Israel. There are good opportunities in communist China, but the
Right.
best ones are in the United States of America.
The best tech stocks are from right here, baby.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that. I'm trying to make money, you know.
I just showed you how.
No.
I just gave you six shots at it. Go buy some. Go buy
No,
some
that's fine.
724 calls.
No, that's fine. I'm just thinking I'm just thinking bigger picture, thinking ideas here. That's all. No big deal.
Got a lot of ideas
got-
today.
We gotta go feed some ducks and things, guys.
All right, let's go through
There's some little ones.
Go Argentina. Hardcore. Go
Are we
Argentina.
rooting for Argentina? Why are we rooting for Argentina?
I'm a huge Argentina fan, dude. You don't know this? I'm a big Argentina guy. Yeah, big Argentina for me. So we're going heavy this afternoon on Arge. Maybe like plus 200. We got to see. Probably take them in regulation. We'll see.
I'm taking the other side of that. Go England.
That I'm betting that Harry Kane does not score a goal. How about that?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Their coach was mad after the last game. He was like, "These guys suck," but that he was just doing that to pump them up. Did you hear the post-game interview?
Yeah, some reverse psychology.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's good coaching.
All right, what's going on today? We got Kenny live at 11, Jeff Mackey live at 1. By the way, if you're a member of the Beat Report, your weekly strategy session with Strazza actually is today at noon. And don't forget, I mentioned at the top of the show, special live event tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time on our website. The link is in the chat and in the description. JC Parets, Grant HAWKRIDGE, the mystery guest.
Gonna be good.
Yeah.
Gonna be good. Late
Nobody
night
knows the
special.
mystery guest.
Whew.
No, yeah, I haven't. I mean, yeah, I could say
Mystery
it,
guest.
but
I know
choose
who
not
it
to.
is.
All right.
It was your idea.
I have great ideas.
That's going to be fun. So we'll see you guys there for that. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Kenny. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh man, tomorrow, guys, got Andrew Menaker on the show. Get your psychology questions ready. Okay.
Dude, Menaker's the man.
Yeah,
He is the man.
that's going to be fun.
All right, good stuff. Hey, JC, tell the kids hump day.
I know. I'm telling you right now, it truly is hilarious. To this day, I think they're coming along that they're like, Daddy, the camel doesn't say that. But every time we see the camel at the zoo, they start going hump day.
Oh, speaking of the camels, how are the giraffes last week?
Dude, the giraffes were great. The girls looked great. It was the girls' idea to dress like animals, so they were all dressed like leopards and like leopards and
Awesome.
and giraffes, like like animal print, and they looked great. Like seriously, like our neighbors, wives, like we have, these are good looking girls, so they look great. And then the guys got wind of this, so the guys started buying ridiculous giraffe things on Amazon, and so I wore a black T-shirt with a giraffe on it, and so that was kind of my participation. And giraffes are awesome, man. They could do some magical things with those blue tongues of theirs. It is wild, and they live till like they're like in their 20s, like 22, 23, something like that. So these are African giraffes, and those are like an Alanis Morissette, like a poor man's Alanis Morissette kind of young gal, playing great music, any song we wanted, playing the guitar. She's great. She was awesome. Yeah. And we had a blast, and like we all have like little kids, so we got like a ton of like little kid things going on. So every now and then the adults can go out and make bad decisions, and that was fun.
Oh, that's nice. You guys had a night out.
Took a party bus to the zoo, had the whole zoo to ourselves.
That's awesome.
Zoos actually are they can be good venues for hosting events. A friend of mine got
the
married.
whole zoo to ourselves, and I had a funny feeling that we're gonna have great wine.
No, a friend of mine got married at the zoo. You can get married at zoos, like
that's just weird. If you get
That
married
is
at the
super
zoo,
weird.
no,
like,
no, people do it. People do
People
it.
get married in
They
Disney
do it
World,
in
too.
like the Central Park Zoo. I've heard of that. And shout out to Alanis Morissette. Really, just good stuff. Quality.
Yeah.
Shoot quality. All right.
Isn't it ironic?
All right. Good show, guys.
All right.
Yeah, great show. Great show.
Yeah.
Good job to me,
Bye.
and good job to Steve and Spencer.
Good
and
job.
Sam, you were all right also.
Sam, you did okay.
Good job, everyone.
Run it.